Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I came across this video and she really did a great job. And she was talking about how white women suffer from main character syndrome. And this is absolutely one of their problems. And it's really a very great disease, you know. And she went further to explain how how they always act unsafe. And especially when it comes to people that look like me and the male, right? And she went further to explain how come, like to this very moment, at the parking lot, they are saying that they're unsafe. At the store, they are unsafe. What is making them unsafe? There is something that I have noticed, and it's something that it's really, really, very problematic. If only you know how problematic that thing is. Because each time you see them or you hear them say that they feel unsafe, they are scared. Something is really about to happen to maybe my brother or my sister, but most especially my brother. If you check the history to this very moment, you can also understand how they played so many roles that lead to so many things that happen to people that look like me, especially my brothers and all of that. And she also went further to explain how pop-colored women also gathered themselves to demonetize some black content creators. Why? Because they were saying the truth. And the latest one that happened was, I don't know how they must reported Sister Tabitha's videos, and her account has been banned. Let's get into it.
Do white women suffer from main character syndrome? So I've made a few videos about the moral panics that are so prevalent in white America, where white women believe that we are about to be kidnapped and trafficked at any place in time. And so are our kids. How we see a man, particularly a man of color, minding his own business, shopping behind us, and we think, oh my gosh, he's suspicious. He might be here to kidnap me. It's all very Sound of Freedom. It's all very like gang stalking. It's delusional. It's a moral panic. It's a conspiracy theory. Abduction by strangers is incredibly rare. Abduction by strangers in broad daylight in public places, incredibly rare. But in that conversation, a number of people said, well, like, white women have main character syndrome. That's why they perceive other people minding their business as watching us, as potential threats to us. And I thought that was such an interesting point with a lot of validity to it. We're suspicious that everyone around is watching us and wants to do something nefarious to us, that we're precious and desirable because we have main character syndrome. So what do we do about it? Okay, let's talk about how white feminism infantilizes women. Can you explain more about what you mean about white feminism somehow being part of this need to be protected from the scaries? Absolutely. I have been talking quite a bit about how there is a moral panic in the US that's been going around for a few years, a conspiracy theory that says that white women and their children are at risk of being abducted and trafficked from grocery store parking lots, from the detergent aisle at Target, from the juice aisle at Walmart. How this is complete nonsense, and the data shows that that's absolutely not happening. This particular moral panic centers around the preciousness of white women, how white women are seen as very valuable and wanted, and that makes us at risk. The implication being here that everybody wants us and our kids. And in those videos, I talk a little bit about how white feminism is not real feminism. It's actually a tool of the patriarchy and often a tool of white supremacy. Now, I encourage you to go watch Portia or White Woman Whisper. They're two of my favorite accounts on TikTok. They spend a tremendous amount of time giving their labor to educating a broad audience, including white women, about white feminism and how it puts people of color at risk. So white feminism focuses on the material success of white women, particularly white women achieving as much or more than men within the framework of capitalism. And I've said this a bunch, but white feminism, the patriarchy, and capitalism all work together as tools of white supremacy. In white feminism, the goal is not liberation for all women and all of society from patriarchy. There's no intersectionality. What is praised and lauded is white women achieving as much or more than men. And white women will leverage our whiteness and the perception of white women as damsels in distress to get men to come to our aid when it's useful for us, when we see ourselves in competition with people of color. Just because we think we're feminists, that doesn't mean that we're anti-racist. And the elevation in financial success of white women and within this framework makes us believe that much more in our own specialness, our own preciousness. And we weaponize that when it's useful to us so that we can step on people of color on the way up the ladder. There is a reason that white women, white feminists came out en masse to attack and demonetize White Woman Whisperer's account when she asked, okay, man or bear, that's great. But Black women, would you rather be alone in a conference room with a man or a white woman? That was a very threatening question for white feminists. And the fact that they came out en masse to attack her and demonetize her account is very reminiscent of white feminism a la Taylor Swift. Swifties, who are predominantly white and see themselves as feminist, routinely form a mob to attack anyone who criticizes Taylor. It's a joke on the internet that you don't want to piss off the Swifties because they'll come for you. Any valid criticism of Taylor Swift in the way that her feminism is not intersectional, it's about her own material success and fame and fortune. It's not about liberation for all women. I mean, no billionaire is for the liberation of women. Any valid criticism of her results in dogpiling by her fans who say, "Why are you picking on her? She's just a little girl. She's just a pretty blonde woman." It infantilizes a billionaire artist who is a very successful businesswoman in a way that gets other white people to form a mob to defend her. She encourages that. That's white feminism. It is leveraging your position as a damsel in distress, as a precious white bastion of femininity who needs to be protected, to get other white women and men to go attack the people that you see as being in opposition or being a threat to you. So it's not only not really feminism, because it's not about liberation at all for women. It's about individual personal success within the current framework of white supremacy, capitalism, and patriarchy. It also reinforces white supremacy and the patriarchy by calling on men, especially white men, to come to your aid in a way that puts people of color at risk. That's why Black women don't want to be alone in a conference room with a white woman, because they don't trust us to have their best interests, to have solidarity, to be intersectional. They know that we will put our own selfish wants first, and we will use our white privilege in order to ensure that we are prioritized. Okay, this is a long video. I could go off on this a lot more, but I hope that helped answer a little bit. I'm happy to keep talking about it. I'm grateful for the Black women on this app who do so much labor explaining all of this, but I wish there were more of us who are white creators who were talking about it, because we have an obligation as white women to work together to unpack and deconstruct from white supremacy, to let go of white feminism, and to understand that feminism has to be intersectional and it has to be about liberation for everyone from the patriarchy.
So this is all I got from this video. If only you all are going to agree and come together, because this is no longer our fight. We are doing our best to make sure that you all are enlightened and all that. But no, that seems not to be working, because am I telling you that they actually reported Tabitha politics? Sister Tabitha, I always post her video here, and I am going to probably put her video here, her picture here, so you know who I'm talking to. Her channel, as her TikTok handle, all of a sudden disappeared. Why? Because she was talking about the pew that happened during the campaign and all that, and they couldn't stomach that, and they came for her. Her account is nowhere to be found. It's really crazy how Black people, or Black women most especially, wake up to all this. Now let's talk about how they are always unsafe at the parking lot, even at the grocery, even on the street, and all that. I have asked several times, what is it that is making them uncomfortable? Because I don't know if they are just saying, I mean, these people are the people that have lived with Black people all their lives, right? It's not like they are coming from one bush or from one Asian, like deep Asian country. I'm just using an example because there are some countries that when you go there, they haven't even seen a Black person, right? And probably when they see a Black person, they start looking like this. But this is the people that you've all lived together for how many years? Like from the start. Why is it that you all are still scared to this very moment? That's why most Black men are not even safe around you people. Most Black men do not want to be around you people, because from the history, if you have followed the history of what happened to Black people, you definitely will see how they played a major role in so many things that happened to people that look like me, the male, right? So the fact that they wake up every day and they say that they are scared is something that still marvels me. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but it is what it is. Not until you all. Now, I keep saying this. This is not the first time I have said this. The truth is that if we are going to fight racism, we are absolutely going to hold white women accountable because they have so much power to stop so many things. But no, they have, like, it's really amazing how they don't even want to, they rarely talk about things that affect Black community. They rarely, I don't know why, but still what it is, what it is. This is all I got. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.